violence once again hit the northeastern state. On May 20, Kuki militants set ablaze houses at Meitei village, Dolaitha-bi and East Imphal district. Several houses were burned while some were vandalized. After the incident, heavy security forces were deployed in the village. Meanwhile, people gathered and raised slogans against the incident. Meiteis, on the other hand, are demanding for NRC to catch illegal immigrants in the state, while Kukis are demanding for separate administration. And among all this, the Manipur on Sunday, the Manipur government extended the internet ban in the state for another 5 days. Now, the ban is going to continue till 3 p.m. of May 26, 2023 with immediate effect. After the ethnic violence broke out in the state on May 3rd, the government had banned internet services and extended it in view of prevailing tense situation. The gravity of the situation can also be analyzed from the fact that the state is facing a shortage of life-saving drugs and other crucial medicines. And if the government fails to provide a safe passage to trucks stranded in parts of Manipur and Assam, the situation may aggravate further. Meanwhile, Congress leader Mukul Wasnik, who is leading an all-party facts-finding team on the ethnic violence in Manipur, said that the Congress expected both governments to make extraordinary efforts to resolve the abnormal and critical situation in Manipur, but this wasn't happening. Nabakishorji, my first question to you will be, we are talking about how violence is coming down, we are talking about reconciliation, and lots of talks are on, various aspects of the conversation is on. But in the middle of all this, a news has come that Kuki militants have set ablaze houses at Dolaitha-bi, which is a Meitei village. Several houses were burned and some were vandalized. What do you have to say on that?
Thank you very much to invite me in this talk, and that is very much true. It is actually still continuing. The Kuki militants are still attacking wherever the Meiteis are vulnerable, and this is very unfortunate. That's why our organization, we have been requesting to the government of India that they should abrogate this suspension of operation with these Kuki militants, the three organizations. But we see that the government of India has not taken any action on that front, and that's very unfortunate. So if the peace and the law order has to be restored in the state, then the government must take this action at the earliest.
There have been talks of normalcy limping back, the state limping back to normalcy, various talks are going on and all. But in middle of all this, again, an act of arson takes place, several houses are burned. In a village, in a Meitei village, Dolaitha-bi. Do you think that this will help calm the nerves, or the central security forces are yet to get a complete hang of how the security in Manipur is unraveling?
I'm very clear about three things here. The Kuki militants have to be handled with a very hard hand. Why should we have suspension of operations agreement continuing with some people who have got down on ground and killed people? They have broken the mutual trust. They have started operation. If they have started operation, which means killing of innocent Meiteis, in that case, the army and the security forces should also suspend their suspension of operations agreement, and they should restart operation. The Kuki militants are complicating the problem. Look at this. There's so much Meitei Kuki bad blood flowing. But the Meitei militants, the PLA, the UNLF, as I've told in your shows before, they have maintained their position. They have talked of an Indian revolution first, and they talked of independent Manipur, in which they see everybody as part of the thing. They have not gone and attacked Kuki villages. The PLA, the UNLF, my good friends like Praveen Manohar Mayum, who now heads the organization of Bharat Chauran, or Tamo Megan, very revered leader, who, these people have not gone and told their people, go and shoot Kukis. Why the Kukis militants will take out guns and shoot innocent Meiteis? So these chaps have to be handled with a very hard hand. Thank you very much. No more SOO with you. Our chaps will come for you. They will hit you. Number one. Number two, there has to be an attempt to start a dialogue between Kuki organizations, as Meitei organization, even the civil society types, organizations such as the Meitei World Group, which Navakishorji represents, should be part of the talking process. They should do the back channel, talking before the main political leaders get into action. Because as you go for hard counterinsurgency action, you also have to start the process of dialogue, which is essential in a democracy. And I've said this again and again, that General J.J. Singh, my good friend, the former Army chief, used to say, iron fist in velvet glove. So you need to flaunt the velvet glove, but sometimes you need to take it off and show the iron fist. So those who are creating trouble have to be hammered, and the Kuki militants are becoming a nuisance. The Kukis don't have any problem with them. A lot of them are very sensible people. They want a dialogue with the Meiteis because their common people have to come to Imphal. They have to come to Imphal Valley. So they can't afford to, mess around. What will a Kuki do sitting in Churachandpur? To take a flight to Delhi or Calcutta, where they have to come? They have to come to Imphal. So common Kukis are not doing this. It's this Kuki militants and some vested interests who are not allowing the problem to settle down, who are not allowing the normalcy to return. Enemies of normalcy should be treated as enemies of the state, and they have to be hit very hard. So no suspension of operation agreement anymore. You started your operation, which was killing of innocents. We start our operations to hit you. One, and secondly, the back channel dialogue. Finally, I am saying again, India has to take a major step in, the reconciliation process, peacemaking in Myanmar. If Myanmar is on the boil, it is going to spill over into Manipur. The drug lords who can't cultivate or can't get the poppy crop there will come here and encourage farmers to do poppy. And therefore, we must, as a regional power, not just be very happy beating our drum. हमने G20 कर दिया, ये कर दिया. अरे भैया, आप G20 का प्रेसिडेंट हैं. आप यूक्रेन में पीस मेकिंग का बात करते हैं. म्यांमार में क्यों नहीं? म्यांमार इज नेक्स्ट डोर. वहां का आग आपके घर में आ रहा है. आप उसको तो संभालिए. And last but not the least, Brijesh, something that is very, very important. And I've said this again. In this peacemaking process, the dialogue, different civil society organizations, different celebrities, sports personalities, different important gender activists like Beena Lakshmi Nefram, they have to be brought in. These women have to be brought in. The women factor is very important. I keep saying this not just because I'm a compulsive feminist, but because women are peacemakers, they are procreators. Men are troublemakers, they are predators. And I'm saying this as a man. Thank you.
How do you react to this latest set of violence which happened on Friday, late Friday afternoon? When in a village, Dolaitha-bi, which is a Meitei village, several houses were burned and arsons were carried out inside the village by Kuki militant. You also heard, Subir Bhaumik, who's also saying that, Kuki militants have to be dealt with iron hand. How do you respond to all of these?
Well, I came in a little late, so I really don't know what went on, but I just heard a little bit of my previous speaker just now. I think what his opinion is built on very bookish and newspaper media knowledge. He has not been on the ground. I don't think he has been there on the ground and seen the reality of the conflict there. And what I understand is that suspected Kuki militants are shooting. Now, they don't shoot just like that. The other side of the picture which I read is that there were Meitei militants. When we say Meitei militants, we know that these are armed by the state government themselves. And they have been moving around literally in uniform. And they have been taunting the Dolaitha-bi, which you mentioned. I think they are in the foothills, which are face to face with the hill villages, the Kuki villages. So there have been a confrontation over there, and these valley armed people have been come 3 times already, and on the 3rd occasion they fired back. Now you're talking only about Kuki militants firing. I think it is, we're not sure whether it is these, and Mr. Bhaumik already jumps to the conclusion that these are the people who involved in Sioux talks. Now, you have to understand who are the people involved in Sioux talks, and there are also militants meaning who keep organizations with guns, who are not involved in Sioux talks. And also you have to go to the genesis of Kuki militants. There were never any Kuki militants. We were already disarmed. Every Kuki person was disarmed by the British after the Second World War. We were without guns. We didn't get licenses. I mean, it is traditionally the Kuki man would be with a gun. A man was not a man unless he had a gun in those days. After the defeat, we were defeated by the British in the Anglo-Kuki War, and again in the 1940, the Second World War, when the INA was defeated, we were disarmed. We don't have any guns, and this necessity arose in the conflict in the early 90s, when by force of circumstances, people had to arm themselves. And when youngsters get armed, it is difficult to disarm them. And they are remnants, and the cause of their existence is not a rebel. They are not insurgents like the Métis insurgents and the other insurgents. We are not insurgents. We are only fighting for our rights within the constitution. We have been asking for little concessions from the Manipur government of district council powers, a little bit of sixth schedule, a little bit of electoral adjustment in terms of delimitation. It has been no, as if we don't exist. The Imphal government has been Métis centric. It is valley centric. Imphal is just part, Plum Hill part, Parom part, all those. That is the concept of Manipur. They don't think of the hills as part of Manipur. Only now they're saying Manipur. When they talk of Manipur, they're talking about Imphal only. And that is why this problem has arisen. And you can't keep painting all the Kukis with guns as Kuki militants. They are villagers who somehow acquired guns and defending their lives, their livelihood, their villages, their women, children, how they have been slaughtered in the village, in Imphal Valley.
True.
See, they have been singled out, hunted down, even in colleges, in universities, medical colleges, employees have been hunted down. Has that happened in the hill districts?
True.
Not even one Métis has been hunted down in the hill district. They have been escorted safely out. Now, Mr. Bhaumik keeps, I don't know where he got all his picture from.
Okay,
He should
Mr. Hansing,
study more about the facts.